I invoke the holy archangels of heaven. Let the lords of liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of mankind. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and come say, "Come forth, O mighty one." Let the souls of mankind awaken to the light, and may they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of the woe has come. Come forth, O mighty one. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O mighty one. Let light and love...
Okay, thank you all very much for attending. Today I am going to be teaching on the process of America and the world and the events that we're all in. And this process is the process of the Antichrist. And it's the process of the subjugation of the human soul. And I'm here to help you in support of the fact that you have a soul, and I am here in order to radiate out the influences that it takes to activate and awaken and strengthen your soul. All of you. Not only you, but all the trees and the plants and the animals and the insects and the entire earth. So it's a collective reality. It's something that influences all. It's not about a soul, it's about a collective soul. And the Antichrist knows this. The Antichrist knows that doing good, caring for your fellow human being, for your neighbor, for people in far-off distant countries who are in need, called immigrants, that they're really human beings, part of the great family, and that we can't turn our backs on anyone or anything. We are the incarnation of the soul. We have a responsibility to overthrow the forces that destroy the soul. And this is Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all that is in the government today. We can see the tariffs and we can see the false teachings. We can see the work of Elon Musk and his extreme ego, how excited he is to wipe away funding for food, to wipe away research and scientists, veterans who served in the war, who have need. Well, according to Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they don't recognize veterans. They don't recognize the agreement that we made with veterans when they were enlisted, which is that we provide, through the Veterans Administration, health services, services that will help you when you get out of the military with all the suffering you will carry. We're not in our first year of being America. We know what war brings. We know the suffering our fathers went through, our grandfathers went through, and all the men and women today. And these antichrists are not just turning their backs on them. But they're firing them and saying they're unqualified, bad workers. And that's the reason they should be fired. Not because the government is cutting the entire federal government and its funding process in order to provide food for the needy and to take care of humanity. Throughout the years, I've been here since 1951, and throughout time, I have risen up humanity to be aware of ecology, to be aware of the things we need to do to evolve and continue growing. Go from fossil fuel to electricity, using free wind, free sunlight, free wave energy from the ocean. All free. Once you've set up the infrastructure, you're receiving all of this energy, which we use every day. And ecologically, we know that fossil fuel is destroying the atmosphere, destroying the rivers, destroying the land, destroying the earth. So because of we have a soul, which gives us wisdom and empathy and compassion, a different state of mind than that of a soulless person. And many of you who have been with me throughout the years have changed dramatically, have gained your soul, have changed your family, have changed your workplace. All the choices you make in life is based on your soul, your increased compassion, your increased empathy, your increased ability to be kind, to be loving, to actually experience love and radiate it and change the world to a loving world with a loving response to need of everything. That's who we are. We're human beings, children of God. And we have a soul, and we're responsible for caretaking that soul and helping it grow and fostering it. So you have to be discerning and discriminating of the opposite of the soul, like vices, greed, gluttony, willingness to kill and cause harm to other people, to overpower people, to force them to do things their soul wouldn't allow them to do. Imagine how hard it was for all the people who had to fire veterans because of one soulless man with a small group of soulless individuals called Doge. This is evil. And it's happening in real time. And you need to discern, discriminate, and be very thankful for your soul. Because these people do not have one. And hardship and not getting help takes away your humanity. Makes you feel like you're not a human being. That you're living on the street and you're a veteran and who cares? So the level of suicide in veterans is so high. Every single day, hundreds of veterans kill themselves because of soullessness of their brothers and sisters who are not doing anything about it. And the Veterans Administration is there to help. But we know Trump doesn't like veterans, doesn't like generals, doesn't like the law, doesn't like the court system, doesn't like judges. And Elon Musk is right there next to him, hating all of it. All judges, all court systems, anything to do with the law. They're here to break down what we have built. Over time, by the 1970s, I ushered in the electric car. Most of you aren't aware that the electric car was available in the 1970s, but it was. And we developed it in the universities, in the colleges. And military grants were given in order to establish the ability for a car to drive itself. That was established within the military program. Millions and billions of dollars was put into it. Because the understanding of compassion and empathy, that in the humanity, that if we had more infrastructure in our technology to help us drive safer, live in a safer environment, we'll move forward into that because we're soulful. When you're soulful, you have a higher mind. Things make sense. You can choose from stupid and dumb and ignorant to wise, understanding, and applying the truth, factual truth, into action. When you find out and realize how to create free electricity, that's wonderful. And not only are we advancing in that, but we're advancing in the electromagnetic field of the earth and developing technologies in order to adapt the ability to receive and utilize the electromagnetic field of the earth and drive cars from that, run industries on that, not even need batteries. It's a whole new thing. And this has been done. It's being worked on right now in Africa. But look at Africa. Look at the Washington, at Trump and Elon Musk. What are they doing right now? They're doing everything to drop Africa. No support, no nothing. All financing and support to Africa has been shut down because it might possibly influence the coming of this new technology. So they have to do everything. They can't, in our Washington, in our America, they don't talk about this new technology being advanced because these are black people. And black people don't advance technology. Mexicans don't do good things. Just look, they might have a tattoo on their hand, which means that they're a gang leader and you have to kill them. Throw them out of the United States and into some weird Venezuela or some other place where they're very evil, very restrictive, and they get paid for having these great big, prisons. And Trump loves that. Trump says, well, yeah, I will abduct regular citizens off the street. Yeah, if I think that's necessary. He won't use the court system. He won't use anything in order to help the person being persecuted, to verify whether or not he in fact is doing these things that are illegal. Nope, there's no day in court. Not with Trump. Court does not exist. He's the only judge. And then he sends you to a very evil person in another country who's very similar to Trump. Extremely greedy. You know. And he builds the prisons so that you will send your prisoners to him and he'll get paid 1/3 of what we would spend on a prisoner here in America. And Trump hates that. He hates spending money on people. No, he won't spend it on people. He'll spend it on himself, on Mar-a-Lago, on golfing, on a hotel, on real estate, because he is a real estate entrepreneur and he's not the president of the United States. And he can't see anything outside of that. All these tariffs is about real estate. I own everything, he thinks. I own everything. Pay up. You can't take advantage of me. No way. When you're the devil taking advantage of everybody, there's a freak out scenario inside your head thinking that I'm not getting enough. And I have to make these people fall to their feet, get on their knees, and kiss my ass. Just like Trump said, all these countries are calling me to kiss my ass and pay me what they owe me, and they don't owe anything. He cannot figure it out. He cannot figure it out. Why is it that China would be selling so much to America, a highly capitalistic country that loves materialism, buys more shit than anybody else on the planet? And because we buy more shit than anybody else on the planet, Trump sees that and goes, well, how come everybody else doesn't buy all that shit from us? That's wrong. They're taking advantage of us. No, we're just greedy. And we buy the cheapest shit. So we buy from China. Or we'll buy from Taiwan, or we'll buy from Japan, or we'll buy from Mexico. We'll buy from any place that makes it cheap. Because that's commerce. You know, but he can't figure this out. He can't figure it out. So he takes it all very personal. Going to tariff everybody. 245% tariff. Can you believe that? Anybody? That is insanity. And Elon Musk, he lost $150 billion. $150 billion in his company of Tesla. Lost it all in 80 days. How do you do that? Well, Donald Trump lost $10 trillion. $10 trillion out of the world. The whole world. It was there one day, gone. Because of his tariffs. Because of his insanity. All of a sudden, stock market went down, crash. And it doesn't go back up. So we lose $10 trillion. Yeah. An enormous insanity is taking place right now. Done by the Antichrist. The Antichrist is not a smart person like you think. Elon Musk is a genius. He's not a genius. He's mentally ill. He's highly egotistical, just like Trump. And when you're highly egotistical, you're going to have a cult. And to have a cult, those people have to look up to you, even if it's a lie or a delusion or absolute death penalty to you. You won't see it. Because it's a cult. Brainwashing. Emotions come in. You know, all the people that stand behind Trump have to be loyal. Yeah. This is all about Elon Musk. You have to be loyal to me. No, we won't let unions in. You need to be loyal to me. Me. You need to work the longest hours you could ever imagine. Why? Because you're loyal to Tesla. Not for any other reason. Not because he pays you more. No, he pays you a lot less. And asks for more. And will not allow any unions in. The only car company in America that doesn't have a union. And we allow that to happen. We can't allow that to happen. These egos, this vanity will take over, and they won't see your need, they won't see your plight. And if you don't stand up, which people are, right now, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are in the street saying, we did not vote in Elon Musk. We don't want Elon Musk. We never asked for Elon Musk. We don't want Trump and the tariffs. They're destroying us. We want education back. We don't want our food programs back. We want research done on for children's cancer and other forms of cancer that has all been canceled. Billions of dollars in food, farmers that were providing fresh food to the food banks has ended. These are all things I established over all the time that I've been here. And I'm 73 years old. So I've established a lot. But they're busting their ass in every possible way to eliminate everything Christ has built for humanity. They're not out against Biden. They're not out against Obama. They're against Christ. So much so that Trump needs Jerusalem. Yeah, needs Jerusalem. He's going to put a great big hotel there and make it into a resort. Yeah, not that there's a coming of Christ coming. Nope. Nope. Not that that's Jesus' birthplace. Nope. But the fact that it is Jesus' birthplace, he's going to turn it into an absolute sin factory. A place where you can go and gamble your life away. Have sex with all the models you can pull together. That's going to be that place in Israel. Homosexuals everywhere, lesbians everywhere. This is a new world order that's coming together under the guise of making America great. And there's no interest in America at all. He doesn't like patriotism. He doesn't like veterans. Not only doesn't like, he hates. It makes him absolutely freaked out that a person would join the military. To him, they're losers. Are you a loser? Is your father a loser? Is America a loser? Well, it is now. Look at what's happening to Elon Musk. His entire business is nearly gone.
Public Public opinion is shifting, and Musk is reeling. Once hailed as the messiah of modern tech, the Tesla boss now stands accused of steering the ship straight into the storm. This isn't just a bad quarter, it's a full-blown collapse. Because as the dust settles, the world is beginning to ask, is Musk flying too close to the sun? And by the end of today's video, you'll see why this isn't just a calamity for the Musk empire, but a serious blow to the future of tech and invention. Let's start with the number everyone's talking about, $146 billion. That's how much Elon Musk has lost since January 2025. His net worth.
That's right. $146 billion. This is the man everybody says is the genius of genius. Yeah. Richest man in the world. Well, when you lose $146 billion dollars, you're not the richest man in the world. Far from it. And that amount is going down fast. That was then $146 billion. Well, many of his factories have closed, and a lot of his Starlink is no longer in contract. Hundreds of billions of dollars of contracts have been canceled. Countries, all of Europe, all of China will not accept the Cybertruck. All of Germany, all of Europe will not support anything to do with Tesla because of his white supremacist movement, because of his relationship to Trump, and the fact that he is not a businessman. He believes he's a king, an authority over humanity. And you are being subjugated. And you have the same thing going on with Trump. He thinks he's a king. At Elon's company, he's not a CEO. He is called, and that's what he's labeled and titled as, Techno King. Techno King. King. And technocrat, was his grandfather, who was a Nazi. And because Nazism got a bad rap, because of Hitler, his grandfather was put in prison because he's a Nazi in Canada. And they decided they don't want Nazis in Canada, so they put him in prison. When he gets out, he runs and goes to South Africa, where Nazis hide. Nazis hide there. Argentina, South Africa, very common, very known that this is where Nazis go to hide from the law. Because Canada won't have them. America won't have them. Most countries won't have them anymore. So he went to South Africa and started a whole new process. The apartheid, the relationship of South Africa taking over. And he went in and created technocracy. Now, technocracy goes back to Hitler, where his number one man was a technocrat. Just like Elon Musk, he served Hitler, standing right next to him. And his job was that he would be ahead of efficiency. Can you imagine it? Just like Elon Musk. Yeah. This guy, standing next to Hitler, was a technocrat in charge of efficiency. And what was he efficient about? Taking Jews, getting them on trains, and taking them to Auschwitz or some other camp. so that the public did not know what was going on. It was done in private, in secret. And this is who Elon Musk is. He's the king of technocracy. Now look around. Do you know a technocrat? You probably never even heard of it. That's because the hidden agenda is it still lives on as Nazis in a new name, believing that intelligence rules, and only intelligent people, engineers and scientists and people like that, should run countries, make decisions. And that's what happened with Donald Trump. We know he's stupid. He can't do anything right. So he gets Elon Musk, who everybody believes is a genius. And he has him tell him what to do. So they create Doge. And we see hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people immediately go into poverty. We see measles uptake. In the year 2000, there wasn't any measles in America. It was wiped out because of vaccines. But now we have a brand new czar who doesn't believe in vaccines, Mr. Robert Kennedy. He's a relatively stupid man. He's not a doctor. Yeah. But he's in charge of our health program in America. So he says, don't worry about measles. Take vitamin A. No necessary to take a vaccine. That's something you choose on a personal note. Not that you need to or should or have to. How do you think we got everybody to take the vaccines and end measles outbreaks? By requiring people to take the vaccines. We had good people in the government that was pushing humanity to make a decision that wasn't about you choose. Either you do or you don't. Nope. Doctors pushed it for every little baby. Schools pushed it for every child in school. Vaccines were done in schools. And parents weren't programmed as atheists to think that it's not necessary. I heard somewhere that you can take vitamin A and prevent it. And it's not true. You can do a lot of things naturally to raise your vitality and keep a lot of things away from getting really bad. But we develop science for a reason. And this is areas that needs to be taken in as a discussion. Vaccines are necessary. Measles is an epidemic now. What happens with measles? Let's take a look. And this is what the head of the CDC said. Late last month, leaders of the CDC ordered staff to bury a risk assessment that emphasized the need for vaccines in response to the measles outbreak. In spite of the fact that the CDC has long promoted vaccinations as a cornerstone of public health. But we have a new guy in charge. He doesn't believe that. While the CDC spokesperson acknowledged that vaccines offer the best protection from measles, the head of the CDC, Kennedy, stated that the decision to vaccinate is a personal one. Wow, how does that affect humanity in their decision-making process? Kennedy has been a fierce critic of all vaccines. In 2021, in a book he wrote, measles outbreaks have been fabricated to create a fear that in turn forces government officials to do something. They then inflict unnecessary and risky vaccines on millions of children for the sole purpose of fattening industry profits. This is an insane man, a conspiracy man. Not a smart man, but a man who's led by conspiracies because he's mentally ill. Just like Trump. Kennedy said, the decision to vaccinate is a personal one. Human Health Services sent out doses of vitamin A alongside with vaccines to Texas, and Kennedy praised the use of cod liver oil, putting children at risk and possible death because only vaccines prevent measles. But what does this do to the human who has a soul? And they have to make decisions for their family. What does it do? Will they make bad decisions because we have leadership that is insane? Many residents in Texas after that process, where the measles outbreak has taken hold, appear to be unfazed. One said, I don't need a vaccine. A man sitting on a porch said recently, I don't get sick. Another person said, it's measles. It's been around forever, says a woman, making her way to her car. I don't think it's a big deal, she says. When asked, they weren't planning on vaccinating their baby. A husband walking alongside his wife, who is 27 weeks pregnant, said simply, it's God's will. It's God's will. That's soulless. You can't just say, mention God and think you got a soul. Yeah? It doesn't work that way. You have to do the right thing. You have to show all the symptoms of a soul. And what effect did these people have on the process of the Centers for Disease? The Trump administration has eliminated 20,000 jobs at the Agency of Human Health Services. This includes Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention, the nation's public health agency. Last month, the administration also cut $11 billion from the state and local public health agencies on the front lines of protecting America from outbreaks. The administration said the money is no longer necessary after the end of the pandemic. Several city and county public health officials had to move quickly to lay off nurses, epidemiologists, and disease inspectors. Some ceased vaccinating clinics, halted water waste surveillance programs, and even terminated a contract with a courier service that transports specimens to state labs to test for infectious disease. All these measures that have been put in place to help humanity are soulful measures for soulful people. What's the truth about these illnesses? Whooping cough vaccination rate for kindergarten in Washington state from 2023 to 2024 was 90.2%. That was the rate. It was very high. It protected us. Slightly below the U.S. rate of 92.3% in federal data. But the statewide rate for children 19 to 35 months last year was only 65%, according to the state data. And in 4 counties, that rate went down to 30%. And in 1 county, it went below 12%. Babies are going to die. Lots of babies are going to die. There's going to be a large outbreak of not just measles, but other vaccine-preventable diseases as well, that's going to end up causing a lot of harm and possibly deaths in children and young adults. Do you think Elon has any empathy? Now, you're saying he's a genius, saying he's got a brain, right? We all got brains, but he's not a genius. He's not empathetic. He's not compassionate. He's by no means enlightened in any way, shape, or form. National rates for 4 major vaccines, which had held relatively steady in the last years before the COVID-19 pandemic, have fallen significantly, according to ProPublica analysis. Most recent federal kindergarten vaccination data. Not only have vaccination rates for measles, mumps, and rubella fallen, but federal data shows that so have those of pertussis, diphtheria, tetanus. Pertussis is what's that? Let's see if I can remember. Smallpox. Yeah. So, and diphtheria, tetanus, hepatitis B, and polio. Public health experts say that growing pockets of unvaccinated populations across the country place babies and young children in danger, and should there be a resurgence of any of these diseases. And they're already happening because we're not vaccinating. Half of the U.S. states have reported measles cases this year, with national totals surpassing 800 cases so far this year. Measles was declared eliminated in the United States in the year 2000. Experts warn that growing case numbers could threaten the country's elimination status if spread of the outbreak continues. Not just measles, whooping cough cases are soaring as vaccine rates decline. In the past 6 months, 2 babies in Louisiana died of pertussis, that is, whooping cough, and the disease commonly known as whooping cough. Washington State recently announced its first confirmed death from whooping cough in more than a decade. This is some sad stuff. This is us, America, soulful, all the world. grows from America. What I have introduced in America, creating democracy, a constitution, law-abiding citizens, relationships of understanding, human rights. And we can't just hang a person. We got to have justice. And that justice means for the innocent and the guilty. And we don't know who's innocent or guilty until we go through a proper court system. But Trump and Elon eliminate court systems. They don't believe in them. And they're your kings. When you don't have a soul, you have kings. We have kings. And we selected soulless people left and right in Washington. Right now, we have a guy, this guy here. He went to the Pope. Pope wouldn't see him. He sent his number 2 to give Vice President a lecture on compassion. Why? Because none of them in Washington are compassionate. It requires a soul. A soul, not intellect. Not fake intellect like Elon Musk. That's fake intellect. When you go and buy a company and then make everybody believe you invented it, that's fake intellect. All of a sudden you're thinking, oh my God, he invented the Tesla car. He didn't. The only thing he was involved in Tesla was the Cybertruck, which is the biggest vehicle failure in the history of the world. Cybertrucks will not be on the street. They're all going to be collected. They're built badly, really badly, unsafe for the people inside and outside. That is the way it's seen. And they will not be allowed back on the street. They will be crushed. And every single person who paid for a Cybertruck will get their money back. They must, because we have a soul. And when you have a soul, you have human rights. You cannot enslave someone. You cannot steal their money. You cannot rape their people. They have rights because they have souls. And we always must stick up for the soul, the growing, developing soul. Because that's who we are. We're humans. And we're responsible for the development of the soul. But the people in Washington are so soulless. So soulless. Trump comes out and says, oh, farmers are going to have a party. Party. They're going to make so much money. You all are going to be so rich. That's what he said. That's what Elon says too. Keep my stock. Keep me as your leader. And I will make you all so rich. You'll never have another worry. You'll never work another day. That's what Elon said. How's that? What? Everybody wants to work, earn their living. But these guys don't believe in that because they don't earn their living. They steal it. They steal. And Trump came out and says, oh, they're going to have a party. Farmers are going to be the happiest people, the richest people in America. But that's not true. Farmers in the USA are facing challenges due to federal funding cuts, disrupting the agricultural market with tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. Musk terminated in 2025 funding for two pandemic-era initiatives: the Local Food Purchase Assistance Program and the Local Food for Schools. The initiatives together provided $1 billion to farmers because they took what was their crops and provided that to the Needy Assistant Program. Yeah, and to the schools, supplying fresh food to food banks, pantries, and schools across the nation. Farmers say they were blindsided by the funding cuts. In Wisconsin, 300 farmers participated in the LFPA program, funding $4.2 million worth of food going to 254 pantries. All that was cut. At food pantries, an elderly woman clutching a bag of cube butternut squash grabbed her arm, the lady who was running the food bank, and said, "Thank you. This makes me feel human." In most cases, they usually receive unhealthy food at the food banks because there's really no support of getting good, fresh, healthy food, like meats and vegetables and things like that. It's all canned. It's all in production, boxes and things, bad food. But we changed that. We introduced a farming reality into it, financing farmers to grow the food and provide it to the hungry and for people in schools. In this case, the squash in the woman's hand had been harvested just hours earlier. In Wisconsin, more than 600,000 people face food insecurity, including over 200,000 children, according to the feeding program. Does Musk care? Does he even think about it? No, not in any way. And when you do this measle cut of financial help, what happens when that happens? Measles cost, with the funding cuts and everything, measles cases have surpassed 650 in an ongoing multi-state outbreak. But federal funding cut threatens the whole response. This outbreak, the guy in charge of the Texas Center said, "I think we are scraping to find the resources and the personnel needed to provide support to Texas and other jurisdictions." This is senior scientists in U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said at a meeting for the agency's vaccine advisors. The epicenter of the outbreak has sent several requests to the CDC resources, and they keep asking for more, but they're not going to get anything. And this process of people thinking Elon is a genius, and he is an inventor. He'd invented things. He didn't invent rockets. He didn't invent cars. He didn't invent electric vehicles. He didn't invent anything. But he hired a lot of engineers, a lot of people who build rockets, people who build cars. He hired them, paid them to do it. Very little, but he paid them. For the cost, when you cut budgets for measles and things like that, what effect does that have on the total reality of our humanity? Each measles case can be as much as $30,000 to $50,000 to respond. This is laboratory work, contact tracing, vaccination efforts, and healthcare costs. This is the maintaining of hospitals and its requirements to isolate, have proper ventilators, to put people into the hospital to protect them from an airborne disease. All costs were cut for that. So now, what do? Well, we suffer because the people in charge of us have no souls. They can't see a veteran for what they are, who they are, what they've done. They don't see life like that because they would never sacrifice themselves to join the military. Elon Musk is a draft dodger. Yeah. He was supposed to go into the military in South Africa. Well, he immediately left and went back to Canada. Yeah. And then Donald Trump, well, he was drafted too for Vietnam. But guess what? He got a doctor that gave him bone spurs and got him out because he's a draft dodger. So they don't have very high feelings. They have feelings of fear. That's it. Because they're wimpy, scared people. And all they want to do is make money off of your soul. So what happens to a veteran? Imagine you're serving your country, signing a contract that says you will put your life, limbs, and well-being on the line, only to return home to uncertainty about whether or not the services and the support promised to you will still be there tomorrow. This is exactly how thousands of American veterans around the nation are feeling right now. Recent budget cuts of the Department of Veteran Affairs, paired with aggressive cost-cutting measures of Elon Musk, have put a shockwave and anger through the veterans community. And you can see them on the street, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on the street protesting Elon Musk.
Tesla is recalling nearly every Cybertruck. This over an issue with the stainless steel panels that are a threat to fall off the vehicle. Scripps News correspondent Dan Grossman joins us right now. Dan, what are you learning?
Yeah, Tesla has just been taking so many hits between financial, literal hits, and now a sprawling federal recall that could potentially put other cars on the road at risk.
Federal regulators are recalling nearly all of Cybertrucks.
And that's nothing. This man has gone on for years saying that he's going to have full self-driving. No question about it. And right now, he is putting out taxis that are full self-driving. And he's hoping to get those on the road right away, but he can't. Because his cars are not full self-driving. You have to have LiDAR, you have to have radar, and you have to have cameras. Well, guess what? Elon eliminated LiDAR, eliminated radar, and just put in cameras and focused on AI. That's it. So many people have died using full self-driving in a Tesla car. I mean, I'm talking a lot of people. One person who's a web person, you know, the YouTube person for EVs, bought himself a Cybertruck, decided he was going to go on a 400-mile trip using only full self-driving. Turns it on, gets on the road. 5 times, it almost killed him. One of them was that the Cybertruck, through full self-driving, chose to go to 90 miles an hour in a construction zone where signs are saying drive 5 miles an hour. And it just, and the man driving had to take over and stop it from doing that. And then it happened again, and again, and again, and again. 5 times. If he hadn't taken the wheel and taken control, he would have been killed. A head-on collision was one of them. Running into the back of a semi was another. Insane. And these are all over the place with all Teslas. They're not self-driving. They're driving assisted. That's it. So you cannot take a Tesla car and not get in the driver's seat and have it drive you across America, which Elon says is totally possible. So they tried because he said he could, and they died. A lot of people died, burned to death, killed, beheaded in one case, due to full self-driving and Elon Musk. And he will not make any statement when people die. Won't say anything. So, it's not the only country that's putting out full self-driving cars. China has fantastic full self-driving cars. Germany, VW, yeah, Mercedes-Benz, even Cadillac has a full self-driving car. A lot. And they work. Ford F-150 drives itself. Very well. Plus, it charges your entire house. Nothing is like that in Tesla. Tesla is a con job, taking advantage of people, lying, scaring people, making them feel that they have to have it. It's the only place in town you can get it. It's not true. You have to let go of Tesla 100%. Or your soullessness is directing you to do the wrong thing. And you need discernment and discrimination, and that's what your soul brings. It's 100,000 times harder to keep your soul than it is to lose it.
On December 18th, 2024, Tesla stock reached an all-time high of $488.54 with a market cap of $1.57 trillion. By March, however, Tesla would experience one of the worst crashes in the company's history. On March 11, 2025, Tesla stock reached a staggering low of $217 with a market cap of $697 billion. AKA, Tesla lost $873 billion in market value within just 83 days. The company has seen 7 straight weeks of losses, and this isn't just the stock market being overly pessimistic. Tesla's fundamentals are collapsing just as quickly. Tesla sales in Europe are down on average 45%, and in Germany, they're down as much as 76%. Things seem to be getting worse and worse for the EV brand, and it all comes back to one person, Elon Musk.
And that's a fact. And that fact will not change because Jesus is here. I hold the collective soul. Yeah. I am Jesus Christ, the head of the hierarchy. And as all of you evolve, you become members of the hierarchy. That means that you take a higher stance. You have morals and ethics you must apply. You cannot harm another person. You must feel guilt and conscience. And it guides you because you have empathy that gives you the guilt and the conscience. You have compassion that allows you to do the right thing. Allows you to benefit others outside yourself. This is what these people do not do. They don't think of people outside themselves. Elon Musk doesn't like any of the people on the factory floor. He's going to replace them with robots. And that's a fact. No human beings will be working for Elon Musk. And yet, he hates human beings so much, he wants to send them to Mars. Mars, by the millions. Why? Why? What is that, Hawaii? A great place to go to? Can't wait. Next vacation, Mars? Why would you go there? Why would you live there? It's all in Elon's mind. It has nothing to do with us. And you think he's a genius, and he's not. He's just another insane rich person where money took over and greed became the controller. And that's all demonic forces, soulless qualities. And he's the representative of your failure. What will become the fall of humanity when you get on a spaceship and go to Mars. And he wants to put you on it. But you're not going to go. And all of Tesla will be gone. He will have no money to put into it. And he knows he needs government support. And he's losing all of that right now. Now. So all the plans of the Antichrist are falling apart. All the plans of the Antichrist, to be the king of the world. Trump believes that he would just be made president until the day he dies. Because he's needed. People can't live without him. He's our king. He's rare. Like Elon. He's a genius. He's rare. He's not rare. Diamonds aren't rare. Gold is not rare. There's nothing special about Elon Musk. Nothing special about Trump. Their specialness comes out of their mouth. They proclaim their propaganda. And if you put the two together, it's almost the same person. And all they want is to become a king and rich So rich, it's beyond your wildest imagination. Elon wants to be the richest person in the world. Donald Trump will lie beyond belief in order to make himself look like he's the rich person. Not the richest, but real rich. Like on Forbes magazine. He needs to be there. That's his goal in life. That's insane. You shouldn't be backing people like that. And you won't. These people will be dead and gone. The Mars mission will be done and over with. It'll go back to NASA. We will send probes to Mars. We will do a lot on Mars, but not with human beings. And the type of rocket ships and multiplanetary bullshit cannot be done with rockets that we have today. We have to overcome gravity. We have to go into interdimensional hyperspace to get from one point to the next, where the planets are located. This is so stupid, it's beyond belief. And I don't claim to be a genius. I just have a soul. So all of you have a soul. Elon has potential for soul. Trump has potential for soul. I'm not going to stop. But I have to warn you of the pitfalls of dark forces. You must accept the fact that you have to work for your soul. You have to choose not to harm someone, not to be greedy and rip someone off, and have it so bad in your own discernment and discrimination to be sure you do not follow someone who's doing these things. You will all evolve. As time marches on, you will evolve. And your soulful integrity will be included in that process. Thousands and thousands of people have been in my presence through my teaching, through my tools, through my work, through my monastery, through my actions throughout the whole world. And it's changed their lives in ways they cannot imagine how it worked, only due to the fact that I am Jesus the Christ. And I am here to bring you back your soul and keep you evolved onward on the path to greater and greater spiritual development. And the integrity inside of all of humanity caring for each other and sharing will be the absolute way in which you know you're a human. And we will get past this inhumane life force that is in Donald Trump and Elon Musk and most all the people that are working for them in the White House or in their private financial structures. It's a cult. It's a cult, and it's a cult based on Satan. So what do you think happened on the day that Elon and Trump won the presidency? Because we all know Elon is president. And he's not just behind the scene, he's up front in it, running it. How'd that happen? Well, Satan, an atheist. Look what happened on the day that Donald Trump was elected.
Yeah, but there's been also that kind of concurrent understanding of a need for the kind of activities that the Satanic Temple are doing within hours of Trump being declared president, our membership numbers really spiked. And if we looked at the metrics for our website and other kind of web activity, it was like a straight line upward on election night.
On December 18th, 2024, Tesla stock reached...
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. What happened was soullessness climbed to the roof. And people joined the Antichrist. And the Church of Satan was born. And now all these people are suffering because Satan is in charge. Yeah, in the form of Elon Musk and Donald Trump, Robert Kennedy, all these different people. The nice little lady, Levitt, I think her name is, that does the talk for the president as a media person. And she's just a propaganda person. That's all she is. She lies 100%, creating propaganda. I mean, let's go to North Korea. She's identical. Yeah. So my options for you is me. Tara and I have been doing this for all of our lives. Yeah, and we do it together. We're here together now. And we're helping to support the process that we are. We're soulful. And Tara and I are recognized in Tibetan Buddhism. I'm Buddha Maitreya, the highest incarnated human being on the planet, with all kinds of certificates from masters of wisdom. And Tara is right there with me and enthroned with me in this process. And the two of us carry the soulful integration, the love that passes inside of humanity. And it's about the love between male and female, and families, and humanity. That's who we all are. We're all children of God, and we have to behave. You have to take advantage of this situation. Watch my teachings. Get yourself an etheric weaver. Get yourself a solar form. Get a pyramid. Meditate. Get involved with Shambhala healing tools. Go online and look and see what I have available. I provide pujas, music that I create specifically to awaken and protect you. And it works. You just have to put it into your life. I am the tree of life, and you are all from the tree of life. And if we all work together, you'll be in the central process of Christ's work, of healing the nations and raising humanity up to become the caretakers of this planet with soulful intention toward all humanity. Immigration is not the problem. Not loving your fellow man is a problem. So let's listen to one of my pujas. and do a meditation. Yeah. Every 3 months I do darshans. Do your best to attend them every 3 months. Talk to other people who work with my tools and find out how it's affected them in such wonderful ways, how their whole life has changed and is protected, and they see themselves as good, loving human beings who can have a family, who can relate back and forth, man and wife, who can understand the problems of the world without it being too overwhelming. If you attend my classes, which are these darshans, these teachings I give every Sunday, I try and keep you informed. Like right now, I'm telling you about what's going on with Trump and Elon and the things that are happening in the world, so you can be fully aware of the fact that we're winning. These people are losing. The one thing you'd never imagine is Elon Musk losing everything. And I'm doing that with your fellowship. We together are against the Antichrist. We together are keeping Satan from ruling this earth. All of humanity is awakening right now to these circumstances that are happening, to these enormous evil processes and evil people that want to win and create a new world order. Eliminate education, eliminate caring and sharing, eliminate all of it, and just be greedy and enslave people. No. Not happening. So let's do a puja, because we're all children of God. And we're one with Jesus the Christ. You can see my face. You can hear my voice. I can teach you about my activities and that they're yours too. You just haven't stepped into it yet. And you will. We will all be wearing solar forms. We'll be all pulling out our etheric weavers, helping our brothers and sisters in times of need. And we'll see that the great Holy Spirit influences all things through these tools, through my teachings, through your cooperation, and the awakening of your understanding and the clarification as you grow and see the corruption that was instilled in you and how it's been purified, how it's transformed, and you have been transfigured. I know this is an Easter cycle, and I'm the guy who went on the cross, and I'm the guy who took all the hit. Yeah, because of compassion, because of empathy. I don't recommend it to anybody, but I am who I am. I am the Son of God. And when you're asked to do what you need to do for all of humanity, you don't say no. You try and find a different way. I did. I cried and I freaked out and it was hard. But still the day came. And the cross happened. And death did take place. But God resurrected me. And God will resurrect you. We're all in this process, awakening. My return is because you all have souls. And God is a father to your soul. And your will is God's will. And that's how it works with the soul. You don't break that commitment. So if you attend my classes, it makes you a little bit stronger. It helps you awaken and receive high wisdom, greater understanding of the given situations that we're in, even things that were going to come. I talk about it. I warn you, so that you will understand and see it and not fall into it. Turn away from homosexuality. Turn away from all of that perversion of every kind. And be who you normally are, a simple, loving person. Learning to love oneself before you can love another person. That's the way it works. So when you attend my classes, I help you love yourself. When you get my tools, I help you love yourself. When you listen to my pujas, I help you love yourself. That's it. And once I've got you to love yourself, then your true soulful self begins to manifest. And you're another person. A person you could love easily. And everybody loves. And that's the way to live your life. Yeah, so let's do a puja. Yeah, let's take in the light of God. Yeah, let it into your mind, let it into your heart, let it into your very physical world, and let it manifest. And wipe away Elon Musk, and wipe away Donald Trump, and all of the illusion that comes with the Antichrist. Let's wipe it away. Let's make that whole process a failure. And it will not return, ever. And everything we do, every seed we plant, it will grow accordingly. And we will prosper, both emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Just hang in there. Keep wearing your etheric weaver. Keep wearing your solar form. Keep doing your meditations. Keep watching and listening to my teachings so that I can help remind you. Now, I'm not telling you anything that's new. This is ancient. Ancient. From the very beginning of creation, what I'm saying is what was established. It's as easy as that. So it's about returning to love and your true home, which is heaven. And this is hell. These people are hell beings, and they want you to exist in hell. And this is not true. We can bring the light of heaven to earth and radiate earth. Look at all the temples on this planet. It's a sacred planet, has been and always will be. But you need the hierarchy. We built those temples. We can reactivate those temples. We can get our soul back. And we can eliminate the Caesars and the Elon Musks and the Donald Trumps from ever incarnating again. All right, let's do some puja. Okay, just relax and listen to the puja. Listen to every word that's said. Yeah. And as we go through it, I'm going to start oming. And when I ohm, let's all ohm together. So I'll ohm about every 10 seconds or something like that. So just relax and receive the blessings.
Yeah, but there's been also that kind of concurrent understanding of a need for the kind of activities that the Satanic Temple are doing within hours of Trump being declared president.
Interesting how that pops in, isn't it? Okay, so we're back to our meditation.
I am a messenger of light. I am a pilgrim on the way of love. I do not walk alone, but I know myself as one with all great souls, and one with them in service. Their strength is mine. This strength I claim. My strength is theirs, and this I freely give. A soul, I walk on earth. I represent the One. God moves the world. The past has gone. I am that past. It makes me what I am. The future comes. I also am the coming destiny, and therefore I am that. The present flows from out the past. The future colors that which is. I make the future also by my present knowledge of the past and the beauty of the present. And therefore I am that I am. Within the circle of the will of God I stand. Without the radius of the world of glamour, I take my place. And there I stand. Before the open door that just reveals a different lighted way, I take my stand. Before the presence, I will take my place, and there will firmly stand. And stand I see. Love is the incentive of our aspiration on the path. Love is the substance of our living in the world. Love is the light and the light of freedom from all creatures. Love pulses through the universe in a divine rhythm. Love is the consciousness of God. May the holy ones whose disciple I am show me the light I seek. May all mankind, may all humanity of all knowledge, may all light on earth make manifest the soul in all things, all life. I invoke the radiant golden sun to manifest the thread of the soul into the kingdoms of the elementals, into the kingdoms of the vegetables, the animals, into the astral plane. I invoke all humanity to become the caretakers of the kingdom of God. I invoke the will of God as the soul. I stand before the judgment seat of my soul. I am that soul. All love and light am I serve the world and lose myself in service. This is my life, and this is the way that I will tread until the day be with us all. Of humanity, the family of humanity, to bring forth points of energy within themselves, inaugurating certain new techniques in work and in modes of communication. I invoke the group of telepathic communicators. I invoke the group of trained observers. I invoke the group of magnetic healers. I invoke the group of the educators of this new age. I invoke the group of political organizers. I invoke the group of the workers in the field of religion. I invoke the group of scientific servers. I invoke the group of psychologists. I invoke the group of financiers and economists. I invoke all creative workers as the new group. I invoke the externalization of the inner existing of conditions within these groups through the manifestation and the externalization of the avatar.
Okay, just remain relaxed. So there's a lot of things that you have to kind of be aware of. One is that Trump is the biggest liar humanity has ever heard. And he constantly tells the story that all of his businesses were the most brilliant businesses that ever took place. And yet, truth is, most went bankrupt. Most, he did not pay the people who built those businesses. This is what he does today. He's ruining America. He thinks he's doing good things, but he's not. He always thinks he's doing good things, but he never does. Because he can't. He's stupid. Just a rich man, lots of money, doing stupid, greedy, evil things to make himself richer. And then he goes bankrupt. And then he blames everybody but himself. And we know that's the truth, but can you keep that? That's what he's doing right now, because he doesn't care. Veterans on the street, stop all their funding, eliminate food banks, harm humanity as much as he possibly can in as short a period of time that he can. But he's been doing this all along. Look what he did to these people.
The job, passed inspection, and was the only one that passed the inspection the first time, every time. And once he billed Trump for the money Trump said that he was going to give him, never heard from Trump again. My dad tried over a course of 5 years to get his money back, and Trump ended up trying to sue him for harassment. And that ruined my family because we ended up homeless. My mom ended up being a drug addict. She had to go into rehab. My dad could never catch his footing again. Us kids were just on our own by the time we were teenagers. And Trump never cared. He never cared.
Yeah, but there's been also
No,
that kind of
Trump did
concurrent
not care.
understanding of a need for the kind of activities that the Satanic Temple are doing within hours of Trump.
Boy, that Trump one keeps coming up, doesn't it? So that's the teaching, is that the devil exists, yeah, and it comes in the form of many thousands of people, if necessary. You know, because evil is easier than doing good. And these people who follow Trump follow evil and will not do good, but think they are. So be aware. Trump is always evil. Trump hates women, hates children, hates humanity, is filled with hate. He hates every race there is that's not white. So let's not back this. Watch me take him out. Watch me destroy him. And he will do it all on his own. Every word he says is coming from him. Every action he carries out is coming from him. But I'm making him do it. He's not a puppet. He's just pushed to think that he's free to do all he personally wants to do. And he's doing that now. Elon is doing the same thing. He always wanted to be king, rule the government. He did it. Cost him a couple $100 million, but he did it. But he will lose everything. And so will Trump. And we will all see them for who they really are, and you will grow. And you'll be able to see Jesus and yourself more and more every day. Thank you very much for attending. And I'll see you again next Sunday. And I hope you watch teachings every day. I have thousands of them out there. So just keep straight. Follow the path. And the path is to Jesus the Christ. Enjoy. Thank you very much.